Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Another edition of Inside the Headset as we're going to roll down here to Laverne High School down here in Rutherford County. Going to talk to the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines, head coach Chris Johnson. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and thank you for being on Inside the Headset. This is our final show, and guess what? You are the final person I will interview tonight, and as we put it to bed and everything, I just got off the phone with Coach McDaniel out of Christian Brothers Memphis, and we were just laughing about some old times and when he coached at Oakland High School years ago, and now he's over at Christian
Yep.
Brothers, and he's athletic director there.
Yep, I remember Coach Mack. He coached a couple guys that I've seen grow up, and that was those. He had some good teams back those through those years.
Yes, sir, sure did. And gazing back as you stare down, and you've got one more game and that you're going to play, and that's going to be against the Siegel Stars. But you're setting at 0-9, but it's not been. I mean, like Coach Counts was talking to me about the kids and everything, where the program was and where you've taken it in the direction. Not that the other coach was doing anything wrong or anything bad, but you're starting to set this template, and you feel like now that you've had a chance to go through the entire rigor or more of coming through this Region 3 6A and playing all the teams. Where do you feel like you are, Coach?
Well, obviously we're not where we want to be.
Oh no, I'm aware of that. Yeah, go ahead though.
But when we think about when I accepted the job, of course we were still in the over in the other region, of course, and then I found out maybe 2 weeks later that we were moving back in this region. And so, you hear that kind of news and you just kind of stay positive and you realize that that's the standard that we've got to live up to. And so, we can't make any excuses. And so I look at where we started. There were several things that was, I would say, challenging about this program. One of the things is our feeder program, getting our middle school kids and our community to, kids to actually want to come play at Laverne, and
that's funny, I don't know if you knew it or not, but Laverne Middle back, I don't know, 10, they won the middle school championship like 10, 11 years. They won that thing. I mean,
well, the middle school, Coach Garner and those guys, they do a great job every year. They're competitive every year, but we're not only Laverne Middle. I mean, that's the majority of our kids are coming from Laverne Middle, but we'll get some Rock Springs kids that are zoned for us. We'll also, there's a lot of kids that go to our Crimson Tide Youth Football League. And so, those kids go to the middle schools, but they play in that youth football league. And so we've opened up some conversations. As a matter of fact, on December 4th, we have a awards banquet coming up for our guys, and we're actually going to be honoring some of those middle school kids at that banquet. And
great.
So those are just some of the steps we've taken to extend that hand to the middle schools and say we're here for you guys, and we'd love for those guys to decide to want to come play for the high school. And we've been encouraged past couple of weeks in practice, as the middle schools have wrapped up. We've been seeing middle school kids want to come watch practice, and come in and listen to what we're saying as we're coaching. And so those things are encouraging. I look at attendance in the games. Of course, our last home game was, every home game this year has been a great attendance. And we've been so excited about that. Of course, if you have good attendance, that means that your revenues are up. And so
right.
When you talk about laying a foundation for a program, those are the things you look for. Do you have good feeders? Are your revenues up so that you can do the things you want to do in the future? And then do you have community support? And those are the things. Our mayor was at our last game. We've got businesses that are wanting to help and do their part. People are coming to the game. Parents are still coming. We've got people inquiring about what they can do to help the program. And so those things are what we look at, and we feel like even though the scoreboard doesn't give us what we're looking for. When we look at the program, it's headed in the right direction.
Absolutely, and those are the things. And when you're in this type of situation, each and every day that you get a win is a big win, because you take the little wins and put them all together, and then eventually it becomes a big win, and that's the win you're looking for on Friday night.
Yep. Well, one of the things that we've really been encouraged about this week, of course, when you're 0-9, and you've got kids, seniors that are getting ready to go off, and it's hard to get kids to come to practice. It's hard to get kids to want to be there. And we started the season with about 70 kids. We had 62 kids at practice the other day, and so. And we've been holding steady all year, and I think that's another win. That here we are, 0-9, going into our last game, and kids are still wanting to come. To hear the kids talk about the off season and how excited they are to, we've already started having meetings with kids, and what are the goals you're going to set for yourself? How much do you want to weigh coming back in the spring, and how fast do you want to be? How much weight do you want to be lifting? Those things, and to see these kids excited about setting measurables for themselves. We take those all as positives, and we did not have an off season with these guys. We didn't know who could play. We didn't know who could do what, and so we kind of discovered some of those things, and now we get to hit the off season and know what we need to work on.
Well, yeah, and you got some data. And that's what you needed. You didn't have any data, so you're coming in and you have to not only, find out who, like you said, find out who can, find out who wants to. Then it's not only that, it's football operations. It's it's a lot of different things. It's the game. And there's a lot for people to do. People have no idea. If you want to be involved in any of the programs that are, like even at Laverne and everything, there are plenty of things where you will not, I promise you will not be stepping over anybody. You'll be allowed to run it the way you want to or whatever, because there's just a lot that goes on in helping 70, 80 guys that go, like Coach McDaniel was talking about it, starting somewhere around, the middle of July, or the beginning of July, right after July 4th, everything just about starts to get put on pause. We put everything on pause up until now, and just to focus on high school football. And he said he wouldn't do it any other way, but it does take a lot out of you. As he said, I've been doing it 25 years. I put you start off and you get so far through the year, and then you put the world on pause, and and do it.
That's right, and that's one of the things we talked about, as we approach the off season. It's not going to end for me. Of course, I go right out of football into track, but the thing of it is our football kids are going to be running track, and that only helps us with football. If we can get kids faster, then they come back and they're ready, and they're going to be more competitive for us with football. You think about that, but then also just being out in our community and being out in the city of Laverne, and making some connections there. Been having some great conversations with our police chief, and our mayor has been very, very open, and we're excited about some future partnerships. And, and I think about that. We only have one high school in the city of Laverne. And
that's cool. That is cool. When you think about it, and that's a good way to look at it, for the Laverne Police Department. And not only that, but I don't know if you know this, but in Helena, so that would be cool. They had if you could have the Laverne logo, splashed on a couple of the police cars. That's what they do in Helena, because some of the police cars in Helena, Alabama, actually have the Husky logo and the Husky colors. So
wow.
Yeah, they Coach Busby down there, and that's a community. Coach Busby, and if you need to get his number, I know Coach Busby well. He's down in Helena, Alabama, and I got to know him through some other people, and that's the only reason why I interview him is through another friend that I work with in the wireless industry. But that's a small community just south of Birmingham where it's. If you're in Helena, you're lost. And why? Because it's one of those places it's a destination location. You're not just passing through Helena, so you got to so it's not just off 65. You kind of got to wind and get to it. But anyway, no, that's one of the community things they do. And I was just talking to Coach McDaniel, and I can remember that. And I don't know if Smyrna Ready Mix would do it or not, but I went to Eastern Kentucky University, and at EKU, two of the concrete company, or the mixers trucks, were all painted EKU colors, and so the barrels of the thing. So I'd love for Smyrna Ready Mix to make a Laverne truck, a Smyrna Bulldog truck, and a Oakland truck, like all and them kind of be around in the city, and that would be cool. I mean, there goes the Oakland Patriot, Smyrna Ready Mix mixer, and it may sound corny, but I mean it is a big support of our schools, and I do think that was the reason why Coach Johnson and I got involved in high school football around here. I just felt like this is one of the greatest places to play high school football on Friday night. I don't care which game you go to, even the game you're going to be at, the Siegel Laverne game. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I mean, and I've learned, there's been a lot of learning for me as well, just kind of learning the region and learning, different coaches and styles, and just kind of learning some of those ins and outs. And I enjoyed getting to know our region. It's been very, very eventful for us, and but I'm also excited about now having the chance to come in the off season, and this doesn't just stop for us. We get to as coaches, we get to strategize, and we know what our region, we know what to expect a little bit, and so it's just going to be an exciting time for us to come back next year, having had an off season, had time to prepare and strategize, and get our kids better, and learn our systems and get better at what we do.
Well, and I mean, and I was telling Dr. Luker, and I'll say this to to Dr. Jimmy Sullivan about you are a good hire for Laverne High School football. You are a good hire. Dr. James Counts was a good hire for Rockvale. You got to get it right. And and that's important because you're in charge of a lot of kids, and where you're starting it's not comfortable. It's not, but you didn't just come in and there's that they got gold balls in the trophy cases, and it's you didn't. I mean, what you're doing is not easy. I mean, you're starting at a place where it's going to take a little bit of rebuilding. The rewards of that are unbelievable, and I mean, that's what you're really wanting to see is and to show that we can put some kids together, we can get them in the weight room, and then we can coach them up, and we can put them out there on the field and call it an effective offense and march football down the field and score and come out here and play 48 minutes of high school football.
Most definitely. And, we also, to add to that, is we've got kids getting offers. That's one of the things we've encouraged those kids, if you could turn that film on and scouts are able to come down here and see you play, the scoreboard may say one thing, you may be getting recruited by a team that's not winning.
That's exactly right.
The wins and losses aren't everything. The thing is, can you get valuable film, and are you coachable, and can you do the right things? That's what coaches are looking for. And so we're happy. I think that before, signing day, we'll have 4 to 5 kids, maybe even 6 kids sign scholarships.
That's great. And, that was the reason why I got into it. I was Mr. Huddle. That was the reason why. Someone asked me, could I put a highlight video together? And I'd never done it. But we did it once. And then we sent that kid, then Wolke, and then after I sent David Wolke, and then I did Marcellus Johnson, and then after I did Marcellus, my first Mr. Football was Adam Smotherman, and I loved Adam, and I sent Adam, and then from there it was off and running. I mean, start taking kids to combines and figuring out, what you got to do to qualify at that combine. We got to have a good 40 run, and you got to have a good 3-cone drill, and you got to have a good vertical, and started learning about that, and then And then all of a sudden, got more and more deeper into video and just what we could do and just, get a product out and really just content. That was what it was all about.
Yeah.
But, I'm so glad. I mean, I wish I could have, but for me, like I was telling Coach McDaniel, I'm 58. I was telling Kevin Creasy today, I was like, 58 and you jumping in and out and going up on top of a press box. I mean, there's people that have torn their ACL at 58. And,
Yeah.
so I don't not to say I'm in bad health at all, but you just kind of want to be careful as you go down that road. And I mean, since 2000, this is all I've done. I mean, every fall I've been right involved with what's going on in Rutherford County High School football. And I don't know. I just my wife. I got to do it with her too. She's my partner. She runs the
Yeah.
camera, and when I met her in '07 and I told her this is what we do, it's been kind of our date night but the problem is it goes for 10 weeks in a row, so anyway, Coach Johnson is just different. But most of all, I can't thank you enough for being on the inside of the headset. And you got Siegel Friday night. I mean, and I will give you a chance, talk about some of the kids and that you do think that are going to have a chance to go on and play college football. Mention some of those kids' names if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, thank you so much for your years of service for all of us. I remember you covering my son CJ at Riverdale, and
Yeah.
so, we would tune in. We would tune in to you when we couldn't make the game. So I really appreciate all that you've done. You've brought it to a lot of parents' living rooms. So I thank you for that.
Well, and we wasn't the best. The thing about it was Coach Johnson I didn't want it commercialized up. So we've got one sponsor. It's in the right hand corner. I don't want to, we talk about him a little bit, but the rest of it, and Anthony and I, we're not the two greatest guys in the world, but what I really wanted it for is I wanted to try my best. I told him, I said, let's get the runner and get the tackler. Then that other 15 seconds, I really don't care what we talk about until we get to the next play. So,
Yeah.
it's really, that was and try to learn the sport and just stay focused on the game and try to talk about the game and the strategy of what's going on in front of you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we really do appreciate it. And a couple of guys that, of course, one of the guys has been like the heartbeat of our team, Kevin Ruiz. He's a defensive end. We moved him down low and out on the edge a little bit. He's playing a little offense for us now, a little ram back for us, and gave him the ball a couple of times. But he's a guy that I think he's got about 7 offers now.
Great.
And so he's a guy that I can anticipate going to school. And we got another guy, Micah Payne, a DB. He's a corner. He's a long, lanky guy. He's about 6 foot. He can play. He's got good feet, and looking forward to him going on to the next level. We've got a couple of linemen, Dominic Bath and Caden Vandervoort. They're down there on the line, and they've all got a pair of offers themselves. So Freddie Mills, our middle linebacker, was our leading tackler on our team. He's a leader. He's got a few offers, and they're racking up. Of course, colleges, after the season is starting to wrap up here, they're going to start getting out on that recruiting trail. And so I'd anticipate all those guys' offers will start picking up. And, of course, Drayton DeMoss, he's an athlete. He played quarterback for us, but he's an athlete. I think, he has a chance to go to the next level and play, whether it be a receiver or slot back or running back for a team. So I'm pretty and Elijah Phillips, our free safety. I feel like he can go and play. We'll start to see some offers ramp up for him. He's a ball hawk and good tackler. So I really, really, really am excited about those guys and really appreciative of all the hard work that they put in. And also appreciative of our administration, Dr. Hatchett and Coach Jones, our athletic director, our cheerleaders, our band, all of our student and family parents that came out to support us this year. Just really thankful and humbled for this foundational year of all the people who stuck with us.
And that was something Steve Luker, I was talking to him about the other night. It's like, Coach, we go back, I mean, 6-7 years ago, just here recently. I mean, compared to what high school football is today, I mean, it is a production from the band, from everything. I mean, it is, and now the jumbo boards, and now Laverne's going to have a third level. I mean, you're all going through improvements, and they're improving Laverne High School. So, lot to look forward to at Laverne.
Yes, sir. With the construction, and I think the opening up zone, you're talking about 600 to 700 new students, more students, additional students that'll be able to be on our campus. And think some of the zone things have changed, and so we'll probably get a few more students than normal. With all of the exciting things that happen, I'm just excited that kids want to come and play at the high school. So I'm really, really excited about that, and our kids finally getting some attention, I believe, in a positive light, and we're excited about that.
Well, you're going to get your shot. I mean, all you got to do is just get a little momentum, and then once you get that, the rest will start happening. Coach, I can't thank you enough, and good luck against the Siegel Stars. I'm sure that'll be a good matchup, and hopefully I'll see you out and about in Rutherford County soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you again.
Thank you again, Coach. Take care.